The other day I saw a stat that said something along the lines of, for every job that you apply for, each applicant has about a 1% chance of getting that particular job.
It's been 19 months and 21 days since I lost my job. And in this time, I've probably applied to over 200 plus jobs. I've probably had at least 20 interviews and no job.
This weekend I applied for 21 jobs. 21 jobs. I'm unemployed.
Well, here's the thing. Nobody wants to admit anymore because it sounds depressing, but it's the truth. People are applying to 5, 10, 20, even over 100 jobs and still getting nothing back. And it's not because they're lazy or unqualified. It's because job searching in 2026 has turned into one of the hardest processes most people will ever go through. We're in a market where businesses would rather stretch the responsibilities of 3 people into one single role than actually hire more staff. And that means perfectly capable workers are getting ignored simply because companies are trying to save money by squeezing every last bit of productivity out of the few employees they already have. You're not crazy for thinking it feels impossible to get hired right now, because even experienced workers with years under their belt are getting ghosted, rejected, or strung along for months by hiring managers who aren't even sure if they'll still have the budget to bring someone on. Companies are posting jobs they don't intend to fill, delaying interviews, cutting departments, and stacking endless requirements onto positions that used to be entry level, all while pretending they care about employee well-being when the truth is they're just trying to survive a chaotic economy. And what makes it worse is that people are being told to have more skills, better resumes, more certifications, more experience, but even when they do all that, the answer is still not yet, or we went with someone else, or thanks for applying. The hiring process has become less about finding good workers and more about reducing financial risk, which leaves job seekers stuck in a loop of applications and silence. But even in this mess, there are still ways to strengthen your chances, build leverage, and stay competitive so you're not wasting your energy on companies that don't value you. Check out some of these videos.
It's been 19 months and 21 days since I lost my job. And in this time, I've probably applied to over 200 plus jobs. I've probably had at least 20 interviews and no job. And I'll be honest, just looking at the job market or just going to these interviews, I don't feel the most comfortable. And not comfortable as in I don't think I can do the job, because I most definitely can do the job. My last role, I was Assistant Director of Maintenance and Engineering Technology Solutions. Yes, I have to throw that out there. But I have interviewed for jobs that I am well overqualified for. And just thinking back to one of those jobs that I was overqualified for, and I remember it was a simple help desk job, and I remember we didn't talk anything about my resume. I asked, like, hey, do you want me to, speak about what I've done, or, where I could be an asset to, just this job, because I wanted to stay in IT. He literally was like, nah, honestly, you don't have to do that. Really, what games do you play? We're more interested in knowing what games you play. Mind you, this is not a gaming company. This is a dude asking me, what games do I play? And as soon as he said that, I automatically knew I was going to disqualify myself. I can't even think of a game that I play. And if I did say a game that I play, like, I would probably say 2K or, Madden or something like that. But I don't even own a game system. However, I knew what he was really asking me. He wanted me to say a very, nerdy type game. I don't know, a role player type game, which I've played before, but I don't do it right now. I don't have a favorite game. But anyway, I knew exactly what he was asking me to disqualify me. Because honestly, what it comes down to, and this is what I've been seeing, when these new recruiters and hiring managers have the pick of the litter, the culture becomes what they decide on. And no, I don't feel like playing that game, but I genuinely feel like a lot of these jobs want you to be a certain way and act a certain way, and that way isn't culturally my way. Now, I'm not coming in here being, disrespectful or speaking as if I don't have any sense or manners, or coming across as if I have no intellectual ability whatsoever. I'm coming across very professional. I'm coming across, I'm dressed in what I'm supposed to be dressed in, no hat on, fresh haircut, you know, speaking about the job that we're speaking of. But I felt like they looked past it.
I'm about to lose it. This weekend I applied for 21 jobs. 21 jobs. I'm unemployed, okay? I've applied for corporate things, remote things not around me, and even minimum wage things because I need some income coming in right now, locally. The 2 jobs that I've heard back from so far, one of them I was declined from. Guess which one I was declined from already? Whole Foods. Whole Foods coffee bar. I can't even get a job at a Whole Foods coffee bar. What is happening? Seriously. Like, minimum wage. That was the last. I was like, at least I will be able to do that. Like, so I can get some money. Whole Foods. What is happening? I need a job. I've been applying for so long. Why is this so hard? On a scale of 1 to 20, how many do you think I'll get an interview for, and how many do you think I'll even hear back from? Let's actually, like, drop your guesses, because next video I'm going to show all of the jobs that I've applied for over the course of the past, like, 9 months now, maybe even more. I'm sick of this.
I know I cannot be the only one struggling when it comes to finding a job. For a year straight, I have been looking for jobs, y'all. I'm talking about I done went to the warehouse. I done went as low as McDonald's, Taco Bell. Nobody would hire me. And all the companies that would think about hiring me, talking about, well, you don't have enough experience. You've been working for home for the last 5 years. Baby, when I tell you I walked into a security job today, I ain't never did security a day in my life. I walked into a security job today. I said, listen, every security company I go to, y'all talking about give me some experience. I ain't got no goddamn experience. How am I going to gain experience if you don't give me a chance? I walked in there and I told her, baby, I'm not leaving here without a job. She said, oh yeah, I like your confidence. Why did I walk out hired? I already got my schedule, did my drug test, got my onboarding paperwork. Yeah, not only that, but then I went somewhere else. Your girl got 2 jobs now. I've been struggling for a whole year trying to find a job, and now I got 2. I'm only going to thank God, because when I tell you I was praying extra hard, I was praying extra hard. He told me to shut up. So yeah, if y'all looking for work and y'all still struggling, baby, your time is coming. Your time is coming, I'm telling you.
If you were interviewing somebody for a teaching position and they came to the interview looking like this, would you hire them? Say yes or no, because I kind of need to know right now because I'm leaving.
If you're still actively looking for a job or don't have a job, I probably know why. It's probably because you're still using Indeed and LinkedIn. Yep, I said it. Well, now you're probably like, okay, then where can I possibly apply to jobs and jobs that aren't just ghost jobs? Well, I got you. What you're going to want to do is basically just look up Prep AI on the App Store and download the app, and then you could just upload your resume and apply to over like 100 jobs. I personally have a favorite feature on the app where all you have to do is just enable the AI generated cover letter, and each time you apply to a job, it automatically applies with a resume and tailored cover letter. I highly recommend you take advantage of this app as there's like barely any competition, so I can just assure you that you could land an interview within like the next 2 weeks, and overall it speeds up the process immensely.
You know what's worse than being unemployed? Having to budget the money that you literally don't have. But that's what I'm doing today. So I'm Sarah, I'm 28. I am unemployed because I quit my nursing job a while ago and I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do. So today is the beginning of the month and that means I got to budget my money. So currently I am on unemployment and I feel like there's such a stigma being on unemployment, but I'm honestly so thankful for unemployment because I honestly don't know what I would do at this time. But I got $620.82 for the last 2 weeks after I certified. That's the only money I have coming in currently besides a little bit of change that I earned from social media. Other expenses included my car payment, which was $281.25, my electric bill, which was $77.06, my phone bill, which was $23.31, my random car insurance payment that I only paid half on, which was $346.41, and then also groceries, which I estimate I spent about $120 this month. So once I add up all my expenses and subtract how much I got from unemployment, it officially leaves me with negative $1,500 $134.56. Seriously crying right now. Bye.
Have you been having a hard time getting a job in 2025? Because same. I graduated college with my bachelor's in December of 2024 and started applying for jobs in October of 2024. For context, I was working in the food service industry. A couple of months ago, switched to the retail industry working a similar job. Other than that though, I have had no luck finding a job anywhere near what I want to do. The other day I saw a stat that said something along the lines of, for every job that you apply for, each applicant has about a 1% chance of getting that particular job, which made me think, in 2025, is it easier to get a job or to become an influencer? So that's why I'm starting this series, to see whether it is easier to get a job or become an influencer in 2025. So the rules are, I have to apply to at least 1 to 2 jobs per day, as well as post at least 1 TikTok per day. At the end of the week, I'll sit down and we'll go over how many jobs I applied for, how many interviews I got, and how many job offers I got. We'll also go over how many TikToks I uploaded, how many views I got, and how many new followers I got. So how do we determine the winner? If I get hired at a job that is not retail or the food service industry, I will have gotten a job first. But if I'm able to make my current monthly salary in 1 month from influencing, then it'll be easier to become an influencer. If you're interested to see whether it's easier to get a job or to become an influencer in 2025, stick along for this journey to see what happens, because, I mean, nothing bad can come from this. Either I get a job, become an influencer, or I just have fun making content and find a new hobby.
It's crazy because when I tell you, my dogs can always sense that like I am probably not in the best mood or whatever it may be, or I'm a little stressed. They always come and lay up on me or be like super close to me, which is normally not like them, unless like they can probably tell that I'm not in the best mood. But nothing in particular really happened today. Like I had a decent day, worked out, had an interview, ate a good meal, like, you know what I mean, like did everything. But I sat down for a second. I was trying to find this application for this one job, and while I was scrolling, I was like, let me just roughly see how many jobs I applied to. I have roughly, not even roughly, I applied to 897 plus jobs. I have landed 31 interviews, and I have not received an offer. So it definitely like goes back to the feeling of like, what am I doing wrong? And it's just a little frustrating for me, because when I don't receive the offer, like that's fine if you're going to pick another candidate, but when I don't receive the offer, I always like to ask in the most professional way possible, just something along the lines of like, this is not exactly how I say it, but something along the lines of like, hey, thank you for the time and interviewing me. I really enjoyed the process. Is there any way that you guys can possibly provide feedback on some things I can improve on for the future, or whatever it may be, like something like that, right? And it's so frustrating because they always respond back and say, oh my gosh, Diamond, like we really did love you. Everyone you spoke to enjoyed speaking to you. It really was a tough decision. And we really did not make this decision lightly. We can definitely tell you're passionate about paid media and marketing. You understand what's going on, and you are definitely going to be an asset and valuable to someone's company. Unfortunately, we decided to not go with you because we wish you would have had a little bit more experience in this vertical or whatever it may be. And it's like, for me personally, it's like not once was that vertical ever mentioned in the job listing. 9 times out of 10, not once was it ever mentioned in the job listing or in the multiple, like 2, 3, 4, 5. I did some interviews, or some companies I did 5 interviews for, and not once was that ever mentioned. And then if you're giving it to someone else that's more qualified than me, like respect, like not mad whatsoever, because there's always going to be someone who's more qualified than me, and that's fine. But when you're not giving it to someone who's more qualified than me, and you're just essentially denying or declining every single candidate, and then you decide to put the job posting back up, for me as a candidate, as an applicant, like it is so confusing and just weird to me, because I'm just like, you had great candidates, but because they weren't 100% everything that you wanted, and they were missing, let's say 2% or even 3%, you decide to just pass up on them when everything is trainable, and they're gonna have to be trained regardless, entering a new company and learn companies' policies and culture and how things operate. Like, It is just so frustrating, and I definitely have improved over these couple months of being unemployed of interviews, and I think there's always room for improvement. So I'm not going to say I'm the perfect interview person either, but I can say this: I can give a decent interview, especially if I'm making it to the final round or the second to final round. Especially, like I said, a lot of these companies aren't just doing 3 interviews, they're doing 5 interviews and asking for references and asking for sample work and asking you to complete mock campaigns and mock this, mock that. Like, so it's like I'm doing all of it and I'm getting to essentially the last step, and A, you're ghosting me, or B, you deny me and you say X, Y, and Z. I don't know, just realizing that it's just a little bit like frustrating, a little disheartening, and also I didn't think it was going to take me this long to find something. But hey, I'm really just trying to trust in God's timing and God's plan, hoping that there is a better opportunity out there for me that I just don't know about yet.
An observation that I made in the past couple days, because it's happening at my workplace, is that the economy, or I guess I don't know shit about the economy, let me not start there. I guess unemployment rates are high because these jobs are eliminating positions and they're not replacing people. In my office, when I started, there were 6 people, right? Including the supervisor. So 6 people in total, 5 assistants. And then we're down to like 3 people, and all of those same responsibilities were just delegated to everybody else. And they refuse to rehire people for those positions. So we're getting fucked over. No raise, right? Because they tell us, well, you should look at this as a growing opportunity. Like, I don't care to grow here. Why are you giving me extra responsibilities? This is so good. But yeah, that's something that I've noticed.
I'm applying to jobs, and I got through like the bottom of the application where it's asking you like a few questions. Tell me why after filling everything out, these motherfuckers say submit a 1 to 2 minute video on why you want to work here. And a time where you help the customer do whatever. The fuck? If you think I'm going to take the time to record, to plan, think, record, and upload a 1 to 2 minute video, you got me fucked up. Honestly, whoever does that will just get the job. Because who the fuck is doing that? Do you think you're the only application? Do you think you're the only one I'm doing to take the time to think of an answer, record the video, and upload the video? You got me 3 ways fucked up. Oh my fucking God.
Well, I got fired from my job today. Yup. And let me just say, it wasn't because I stole anything. I didn't say anything out the way to anybody. I didn't harm anybody or none of that. But 2025 is just a wild card. I don't know what is going on. And then they're talking about letting go of TikTok. What am I girl, listen, just take this let's just start over again, because it's just, oh my God. But these companies will literally use every drop of labor they can from you until they say, okay, we're done with you. You can go on about your business. Like, not even caring that, you got kids, you got bills, insurance, none of that. I do believe in a higher power. And I do believe that things are going to work out for me. To be honest with y'all, I really don't care about working on 9 to 5. That's never been my desire. So, I don't know, y'all. Pray for me.
Having a college degree is only valuable if you're using that degree to do a line of work that you're obsessed with. So if you're doing that, you're winning. But the average person, that's not the case for them. I know so many people that were sold into the college experience because it would make you more well-rounded and it's going to help you get a good job. And now they're $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 in debt working for fucking $20 an hour. Standard education system in America, it's absolutely trash. And the fact that we even allow 18-year-olds to take out loans that are that big when they have no concept as to what that's actually going to do to their life, like, I just think it's crazy, honestly.